comes a point in your application that you want to implement caching. And NUXT has a very easy way to do this both in development and in production. The first thing we need to do is go to NUXT config. Now NUXT uses Nitro under the hood, the server engine. So what we have to do is open a Nitro configuration object inside NUXT config, and we put two things, dev storage and storage. So dev storage is telling NUXT, hey, when I'm in localhost, when I'm in development, I want to cache on my local file system. So then here we have a driver, and this driver, we can pick a lot of things. Yes, we can Upstash, Azure, whatever. And this is the file system. And the base, where do we want to save this, in the cache folder. I was already doing this, but here you can see a little sneak peek. And then on production, I want to use Upstash. So NUXT for caching uses use storage, which is a storage layer, I think, for NUXT. I'll leave some links in the description. So once we have this, we can create two endpoints to show this in action. The first endpoint, we're going to create a post request. So right here we have in the server folder a post request, and we're going to use storage. Use storage. We can use cache. The name cache, it comes from here. We're going to use this configuration, and we're going to save this with a key of 123, and we're going to save the current date, and we're going to return true. So if I move myself away, we come to our endpoints. We're going to come to our application of choice to test endpoints. I like to use the terminal. So here we're going to call localhost 2001 because that's local development, the API, folder, and cache. This is a push request. So when we do that, we return true. Great. But what's interesting here, we have a cache with a key 123 and the current date. So right now is the 28th, 11/28. This is UTC time, so I'm in 12/28, so this is good. And we got that. Now the next thing we can do is we can retrieve this. So the next thing is on another endpoint. Imagine this is any endpoint you have. We want to check if the key 123 exists in our cache. So we use storage, the cache configuration like I told you before, and we have a get 123, the key. Then we check if this is true. If this is true, we're going to return that date that we saved. If not, we do some other thing. And then once we do that, we save what we want to save again. In this example, let's say we do some business logic, whatever. We want to store whatever that came out of that so we can use it later when we get. And this time we're going to change to hello world so you can see the difference. And then we're going to return true. Right. So this is a get request. And then we put get empty here. We return the date, as you can see here. And if this date should match what we have in our cache, 11/28/06, 11/28/06. Perfect. So now let me show you this in production. So I deploy this application in production on Vercel. That's if you have questions about that, leave a comment. I can show you how to do that. But here is our endpoint, cache example, right? And we're going to do HTTP. We're going to do a post request. So this is the same thing we did here. We're going to save the date to the current date. But this, since it's in production, NUXT is going to say, hey, to Nitro, or Nitro is going to say to NUXT, hey, we're in production, so we're going to use Upstash instead of a local file system. So next, we do a call on a push request to our production environment, and we get true. So everything correctly, if I go to Upstash dashboard and I search for the key 123, I should see the date. And if we go here, that's all we see. It's 11/31, we're 12/31, and it works. So next thing we can do is we can call this. We can call this, and we should get the date back. And we do. 11/31 is 11/31. Now if we delete this from Upstash and we call get again, since we did not do a cache hit, this should save with hello world. And we have hello world. So everything works fine. So this is, once I found this out, I use it all the time because I do not want to, sure, it's so cheap to use your server, to use a cache, Upstash, or whatever Redis. But I find this very easy, very simple, and very efficient to just have local caching on the file system, and voila. It's easy, it's free, you're using your own resources, and I love it. I love NUXT NUXT has a lot of these little things. So that's it. That's the video. If you have any questions, please leave in the comments. I'll leave the repo and all the links below for more information. And yeah, catch you next one.